Our premise is that dilemmas actually require not just a change in our behavior, they require a change in the way we think. Very often, people think of the two goals in a dilemma as one or the other. You want affordable health care or high quality health care? How many vote for high quality? Let's get our priorities straight. You can't have your cake and eat it too, so figure out what you really, really want. So they think about the options as incompatible. My department will work on this one, and you can work on this one. And they're thinking that we have to make a choice. Or at least we have to separate the effort, because if we put them together, they would just cancel each other out. That kind of thinking fades pretty quickly, and we start realizing that as difficult as it is to put them together, we need both. And so we start thinking in terms of, well, we need more coordination. Well, we should have more joint staff meetings between my department and yours. But if there's a conflict, someone's got to make the hard call and figure out which one will trump the other. That still doesn't get us where we want to be. What we want is the realization that it is not two goals that are incompatible. It is one dilemma with two facets. We need to stop thinking of them as two separate goals and realize they are in fact inseparable. Social order has no value if it doesn't support personal freedom. Personal freedom would be of no value whatsoever if there wasn't enough social order to give us some durable structure. Affordable health care isn't worth a damn if it's not any good. High quality health care that no one can afford is of no value. These are not two separate goals. They're one dilemma. That's the shift in mindset that we're looking for. This has a very significant implication. If you have a simple, straightforward problem, an engineering problem, and someone has the solution, all you want is the solution. I don't care how you got it. I don't care if you got it in a moment of inspiration in the shower. I don't care if you got it during a night of drunken reverie. I don't care if you got it from your 8-year-old working on algebra. If you can get it in a box and FedEx it to me, thank you very much, send us a bill, we're done, go away. Dilemmas are the exact opposite. Since they're never really completely resolved, since we're always dealing with the interplay, the process is more valuable than the solution. The solution is temporary. It's for a time, for a situation, for a circumstance. The way we got the solution, whatever we did to get there, that's worth its weight in gold, because we have to invoke that over and over and over and over. So it's the process that's of more interest and value to us than the actual solution. This also means that we can only manage dilemmas in the context of a respectful, collaborative relationship. If there's competition, or tension, or disrespect, or lack of compassion, or no interest between the two parties, they cannot possibly work together in the kind of collaborative and radically creative way that we want with a dilemma. Unfortunately, most of these relationships are cross-functional. Most organizations faced with a dilemma give the manufacturing part to one department and the quality control or the cost reduction to another department, and figure that the competition will bring out the best in both. What the competition does is undermine both. People who pick one side of the dilemma, I'm in quality control. They are the problem. They're the problem because they're pushing for one goal rather than embracing one dilemma. In dealing with a dilemma, we cannot afford to have competition, single advocacy. We can't even afford either or thinking. So it's a shift in mindset, not just a different problem-solving strategy. So, enough foreplay. We'd like to kind of show you what these dilemmas are like. And the way we're going to do it is just give them voice. So, I'm going to speak to the side of the dilemma over here. And Vicki will speak to the side of the dilemma over there. And just to kind of listen and let it roll through you. And see if you find anything we say that's blatantly clear and obviously wrong. But try to imagine what it would be like if you had to think with both. So, first one, being vision-driven versus customer-oriented. Vision-driven. Companies need a clear vision of who they serve, what technology they support, what services they provide. We pursue some customers and we avoid others. There's a reason why Costco does not have an express lane. They don't want that customer group. Our biggest risk is that we just drift, or we attempt to do too much.
Companies need to be in touch with their customers and listen for the preferences that should guide product development, marketing, and services. After all, they're customers.
Being designed based on our intent versus recognizing what emerges independent of our intention. Companies need to lay out policies and structures and systems that support their desired outcomes. Without these mechanisms, individual actions could be scattered, redundant, or worse. Structure is ultimately how work gets done.
Companies need to attend to culture, informal networks, and learn how to leverage the natural and organic structure of the company. People don't read policy manuals, they get help from their friends. That's ultimately how work gets done.
Corporate profitability versus social purpose. Companies are required by law to pursue the financial benefit of their shareholders. That means to secure profit. The goods and services they provide at a profit, that's the primary benefit they deliver to their community. And profitable, by the way, also means sustainable employment, which also builds the community.
Whatever goods and services we provide, companies need to contribute to their communities. They need to support economic well-being and social good. Employees yearn for meaningful impact, sustainability in a fragile ecosystem, and responsible citizenship. Just look at EpiPen or Volkswagen. Profit isn't the whole story.
Focusing on tasks versus focusing on people. Companies are designed to secure certain objectives. So being productive and efficient are table stakes to be in the game at all. We're not a daycare center. We're not a therapy group. We need focused, well-resourced, and motivated workers who know their jobs and show a strong work ethic. We either keep our nose to the grindstone or we get ground up.
Companies are also communities. They're networks. They're places where people socialize, where they find friends, where they feel like they belong. People need to grow in their field in order to move up in their companies. We can't attract and hold key talent if the workplace is a sterile, cold, and sometimes hostile environment. We need workers who know each other and value those connections. We need workers who look to develop as well as perform.
Centralized power versus decentralized power, distributed power. A centralized structure creates efficiency, consistency, and leverages our expensive IT and HR infrastructure. It also helps create an international brand identity and presence. For example, Coca-Cola is a brand identity known around the world. Centralized decisions can be made once and for all by those who know the whole company the best.
A decentralized structure allows for local customization. For meeting the needs felt by the immediate customer, it creates customer intimacy and loyalty. Decisions can be adjusted at the front line by the people who know the customer best.
Continuity versus innovation. Efficiency and market penetration come from the ability to scale, to deliver in quantity. And that demands predictable, repeatable processes. If every project starts with a clean sheet, we never get good at doing anything. Close coordination is the only way to make sure everyone is marching to the same drum. Standardization is just another word for capturing knowledge.
Our world is constantly changing, and we need an organization that changes with it, tracking customers, technologies, and competitive behavior is reactive. We need to be proactive and come up with new ideas that will meet tomorrow's needs. Standardization is just another word for stuck in the past.
Company performance versus individual development. We hire people for their skills and their experience, not for their potential. We need everyone pulling their weight, not holding us back. We'll suppose that developmental assignments just mean that you're not up to the task. We'll provide training in our products, our specialized processes, but if you can't hit the ground running, you'll just hit the ground, period.
Employees stay where they can grow, where they see a career path and not a stop along the way. Coaching, mentoring, training, and personal development are the perks that hold the best people. Otherwise, those with the most potential will move on and leave behind the rest. We have room to do no more.
We could also talk about short-term and long-term. Okay. But this, in fact, has been, I think, to some extent, embraced by the business community. It's in strategic planning, it's in separating operational budgets and capital budgets. We can also talk about quantity and quality, but again, I think this has primarily been process improvement, and it's well ensconced in the business community. The first 7 are the ones that we would argue are part of the essential core of organizational development. And we suggest to you that organizations either manage these tensions well or they risk fading away.